Hey everyone, Dismantling here. For today's vlog, I decided to talk about something that I told myself I would really never cover, mainly because there was a lot of hype about it and I didn't really see all the big fuss, and I figured, the hype would die down a bit after a while it would just die down. All the upset over it still hasn't died down, so I figured, just put my 2 cents in about it and just leave it. I am talking about the whole new goth or hipster goth controversy within the goth subculture. There are different parts of goth, there are different types of goth anyway, such as romantic goth, cyber goth, etc. And certain groups kind of form either outside of the subculture or inside of the subculture. And sometimes the ones that are kind of outside of the subculture, sometimes there's controversy over whether or not to consider it goth or not. And in this case, it is hipster goth. I'm not going to cover pastel goth because I am a little confused about what that entails, because I always thought pastel goth was just goths who wore pastel colors, but now there's another type of pastel goth coming out that's more similar to the new goth hipster goth that a lot of people don't like. So I'm going to stay away from that topic because that one just confuses me. But with new goth or hipster goth, it is more of a hipster style with, goth thrown into the title. There's goth influences in it, but a lot of people debating, whether or not this is goth or not. Most would say it's not goth, but at the very least it does have some gothic influence. I am personally not a big fan of the style, mainly because it's very simple, and it kind of reminds me of what I look like when it's laundry day, or when I'm not trying, kind of like today. But I don't have an issue with anyone else dressing up like that, and I don't have an issue with the titles that they're giving it, like hipster goth. When they put hipster first on that one, like with hipster goth, I guess people would be a lot more, I guess people would be less upset if it was called gothic hipster and not hipster goth. But either way, that one title doesn't really bother me so much. Now, new goth, I like that title more for that label, I guess is what we would call it. But I like that term a lot better than I like hipster goth, because it's not new as in NEW, it's new as in NU, like with new metal. And that's why I like that title, because with metal, you have, different kinds of metal over here, and then you have new metal, which is, metal with rap influences like Korn. And though most metalheads would consume all other forms of metal a lot more heavier than new metal, there are still instances where it's okay to like some of those bands. Though I am not normally a big fan of the new metal genre, I am a fan of Korn. And if I say that to anybody, no one's going to be like, oh, well, you like Korn, you're not a metal fan. No one's going to just be like, oh, well, you just happen to like that one band. But with new goth, I like that title a lot better because it's sort of like with new metal, because new metal is kind of like a watered down version of other forms of metal, not in a bad way, but that's what I feel like hipster goth's kind of like. It's not fully related to goth, but it has some influences, and influences that come from other subcultures, just like how new metal has influences from both rap and metal and rock. That's why I feel like. So I like that title a lot better. I don't like all this upset between the two groups, not necessarily two groups, but between all the other forms of goth and new goth, and I really don't understand all this attacking. I don't know. I mean, they're really just labels at the end of the day, and labels aren't really that big of a deal. But this is just my personal opinion, really. This is just really my personal opinion. There are plenty other gothic bloggers and vloggers who have all voiced their opinion on the matter, saying whether they like it or they don't, or they're neutral towards it. I feel more neutral towards it, but that might be because I've never really met a new goth in real life. I might feel differently in that situation, but other than that, I really have no issue with them and their style. I'm not personally a big fan of the aesthetic, In certain cases, when it's done really, really well, I like it, but in other cases, I'm not a big fan of it, but I mean, that's easily remedied by me just not wearing that style. So yeah, that's just my opinion on the whole matter. I really didn't think I'd ever have to talk about it, but there still seemed... I really did think all the fuss of it would, like, calm down after a bit, but it hasn't. So, that's it. But that's today's vlog. If you want to voice your opinion on the matter in the comments, go ahead, or leave a comment on my site. If you have any topics you want to, or you want me to discuss, email them to me. I've had people send me comments with topics on my blog, and the problem with that is with Blogger, when I reply back to those comments, people don't always... they don't get a message saying that I sent them that back. So I'll ask them something about it. Like, someone sent me a topic, like, a few weeks ago, and I asked them, to specify on it, but I never got an answer back, because Blogger doesn't send you messages telling you when someone replies, unless you subscribe to that whole comment section. So if you have a topic you want me to discuss in a vlog, please just send it either by email or YouTube comment or YouTube message, or even by Tumblr message, because if you send a suggestion on a comment on my blog, you may not know when I respond back, because sometimes I can respond back really, really fast, and other times it's really slow because of just how I am.